Good morning, everyone. It's an honor and a privilege to be here. Had a home football contest this past Saturday. It was good to get back out there and compete and play, and our kids continue to fight and play extremely hard. A lesser opponent, but it was good to get in a rhythm. It was good to make some plays. It was good to play well on offense, but also to play well defensively, and then also to score some points. So we're pleased to come away with the victory, but we know that basically what that game did for us was, just kind of give us a little bit of confidence and kind of shore up, some things as far as, trying to make sure that, we play with a rhythm and then do what we need to do. So it's good to get away from conference for 1 week. Now we're back in conference, and we'll be in conference from here on out.
Talk about getting into a rhythm a little bit, and you've said you want the team to get better every week.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the offense is kind of starting to find its identity at this point in the season?
Well, I think we're playing better. I think we're playing with more confidence. Just take away that game, last week, because that game can be a little bit deceiving. It was one of those games where you should play well. Not to say anything negatively about our opponent, but just watching us in practice and watching us last night in practice throw the football and watching us move the football in practice and things that we're doing now, you can tell that we're somewhat turning the corner, and there's confidence building. So that's always my goal, regardless of the situation, is to get better every week, and I feel we're continuing to grow and continue to get better.
What was it what did you potentially see during Saturday's game? Obviously, we know offense has struggled a little bit with consistency at this point, but did you see anything in particular during Saturday's game where you thought to yourself, okay, I think I might start to notice some good things that we can really latch on to?
I think it was before the game. I think the fourth quarter of the Prairie View game kind of opened some of our eyes. I think we're a little bit better at receiver than we thought, and then at quarterback, we simplified some things to clean up some reads to make it easier for them to play with more confidence. So it's always a work in progress. When you're dealing with new guys, this is a new team. This is new for us. It's new for us coaches. What Jeremy Hickbottom is comfortable with is different than what the last quarterback is comfortable with. What Alden Clark is comfortable with is different. So it's kind of like a feeling out type process, and sometimes it takes a little while, and then sometimes it doesn't. But I think we feel really good about our team. I think our team is turning the corner, and I think it's up to us to make sure we continue to work to play better, and I think we will.
What do you see from Texas Southern?
Well, Texas Southern is a very disciplined team. Very, very fond of their head football coach, Coach Haywood. He's been around. He's been several places and been successful at those places. They're going to be in the right spot. They're going to be well coached, and they're going to play extremely hard. And they got some length and size to them that they haven't had in the past. I think he's gone and gotten a lot of transfers and things of that nature, which helps their team. So we're looking forward to the challenge, and they've had a couple of tough games here or there, but they're a really good football team. And sometimes the record doesn't indicate how good a football team has a chance to be. There are a couple of plays here and there from winning a couple of ball games that they lost.
I know we talked earlier this year about finding ways to make explosive plays offensively.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know, like you said, you have to take the opponent into account, but I believe there was 5 touchdowns that were scored that were longer than 20 yards.
Mm-hmm.
From a confidence standpoint, what do you feel like that can do for the playmakers on the outside and for your running backs and for your quarterbacks going forward?
Well, it's big. Anytime you make a play and you cross a goal line, it's big for you. You hear it all the time in other sports, like in the game of basketball. I mean, one of the greatest shooters in the NBA is Steph Curry, and a lot of times when he's not going, all it takes is a free throw. Sometimes just him seeing the ball go through the net, and sometimes that's what it takes. You never know what's going to spark, your team. You never know what's going to make it click for you. You just have to keep your nose down and keep grinding. And that's the way I've always been raised. Is I've never wavered, whether it was great or whether it was bad. I've always been the same person, and you know that. Even in past years, I'm the same person regardless of the outcome of the situation, because I believe firmly in myself, but also in our coaches and our players. And it's just about continuing to stay the course and continuing to do what you know how to do, and then evaluate. There are times when others don't want to look at the bad film, but I think that's the worst thing you could do, is to not look at the bad film. You have to look at everything and dissect everything, and then put to bed whatever situation occurred.
You mentioned your wide receivers. You got Lindsey and Geis kind of continuing to
Yeah.
make plays every game. Geis had that one-handed grab
Yeah.
that was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Just what do you continue to see from him as the season progresses?
Those guys are stepping up, and they're not the only two. There's a number of guys, when you really watch them play, some of the long runs, from our quarterbacks and running backs, has a lot to do with them as well. So they have become, full-time, football players, not just receivers. And I challenged them. This past off season to become complete players. And you're really starting to see that. They're playing hard every play, and they want the football, but they also understand the team concept. Because it's only one football out there. So I'm extremely pleased. With our receiver core. I think our receiver core has gone from, maybe one of the softer units to maybe one of the more physical, tougher units. On our team, which is good to see, because they've made huge strides. In the last I would say 6 or 7 months.
Christmas not playing this last week, just
Yeah.
kind of resting him a little bit. And
Yeah, he's a little bit banged up, and but Christmas is gonna go regardless, so it was best not to dress him out because he would run on the field anyway. So we basically had to take the helmet from him, but he's fine, he's ready to go, and our team is ready to go. We're healthy. We're as healthy as you're gonna be at the midpoint of the season. That's just part of it.
And I know you've said with playing at home or on the road, it's all kind of the same for you guys, but is it kind of again, going on the road, how much of a challenge is it to try to get that first win?
Well, I think the thing, when it comes to going on the road, it's about us, playing well. I always relish in playing on the road because it eliminates a lot of the distractions. Ticket requests and family members coming in town, and you're trying to focus, and everyone else is here to enjoy. So it's a little bit different situation. So I always like going on the road because it's just you and your team, and you have an opportunity to bond and focus on the goal at hand. Now, of course, being in the environment in the game, there's always going to be tough crowds, but I relish in that as well. And that's something that I've always enjoyed is being in those type situations. So our team is no different. We know that we're in a playoff type mindset right now. Basically, every game, is win or go home, for us. So, and we've kind of made that bed for ourselves. So it's up to us to make sure we play well and play hard and execute. At the end of the day, it's about execution. And, that's something that we've talked about, is stop taking turns making the mistakes, and all of us make sure that we're doing our job on every play. And if we do that, I feel good about us.
I have a couple stories for players. I know it's probably a little bit random. I'm doing something on Waddell.
Yeah.
He lost 75 pounds. I know he's hurt this year, but kind of talk about that transformation from him and just a little bit about him as a player.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of our key guys that was out before the season even started, and that has a lot to do with some of our struggles, up front. We've got a couple guys out that are some of our best players, and that's part of the game, and that's why you recruit and get other guys, because you have to do that. But as far as William's a great young man, and he's kind of dedicated himself to eating a certain way and making himself a more complete, athlete, mind, body, and soul. So hey, as long as he comes back ready to go, I'm happy for him dropping that weight.